Are you ready, podcast? Time to demonstrate. Rachelle Logan, the etiquette queen, teaching us all how to thrive in the scene. Etiquette queen, she's on the scene. Professional development, living the dream. Public speaking, bridging the gap. Success is a journey, ain't no looking back. Knowledge is power, that's the truth. Learning from the best, that's the proof.
Greetings. I am your host, Lady Rachelle of the Are You Ready show on WDRB Media. Welcome. On today's show, I will discuss a really big problem we are having in today's society and one that I've written about in my new book, Mannorisms Manners for Today's Changing World. The problem of good customer service. So join me now so we can have a lively discussion on how to handle this important problem I'm sure most of you have experienced. Now, when I was growing up, a long time ago, I used to love going to the mall and actually talking to the people that worked in the stores, and they were very friendly. And even when we had to return something, there was no problems. As you all know, that have changed now. So, what I'm going to talk about today is how we can deal with number one, being a good customer, and number two, hopefully being a good staff if you ever are in a position that you'll be working in some type of store like that. Times have changed, people have changed, nerves are frayed, tempers are short, and I think in order for us to have a good shopping experience, we should all learn to be patient and we should all learn how to understand how hard it is for some of the workers in some of these stores. So, it's time for a quick break, but after the break, my daughter Diana is here to help me discuss how customers and sometimes staff can affect your shopping experience. Don't go anywhere. Lady Rachelle will be right back on WDRB Media where you can listen 24/7 for double the information and inspiration. Welcome back to the Are You Ready show. I'm your host, Lady Rachelle. I will continue now with the impact of good customer service with Diana. Before we get started, here's a quick reminder to visit my website at RachelleLoganMedia.com for online classes concerning professional topics that will help you be the best version of yourself. And also to purchase my book, Mannerisms Manners for Today's Changing World. Hello, Diana.
Hey everybody.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great. Well, most people know that you are my daughter, and we've done a lot of shopping together from the time you were a child until now that you are an adult. And when you were growing up, we would go, everybody would speak to you, we'd have a great shopping experience. But now that you're older, what is your take on how the shopping experience has changed?
You know my favorite place to shop now that has the best customer service?
Where's that?
Online with no people. Unfortunately, that's where I am right now and yeah, online is definitely my go-to option and it's obviously convenient.
But
Um,
do you still go to the mall?
no.
You don't?
I
Okay.
do, but I go to get food.
Okay, okay. What about the customer service at the places where you get food? How are they?
I mean, I definitely am not expecting like this grand experience, especially considering if I'm going to choose fast food, I'm going to expect fast food experience.
Right.
So I would say for restaurants, I definitely have had different types of experiences. Um, it depends, like sometimes if I'm really, really hungry and the service is bad, I'm gonna have a way worse experience. But if I'm not that hungry and the service is bad, then, it's not gonna bother me as much.
Right. Okay. Let's say we need to go to the mall. There are malls now, but unfortunately, a lot of malls are being closed due to this online shopping. Thanks, Amazon. And I still like going to the mall because I like to walk around, I like to see people, and also I like to interact with the store people because normally they can explain to you if you go to Best Buy or somewhere, like, hey, this is better than this product, because you've lost that interaction with salespeople when you all the time shop online. I know you shop online a lot because I've seen everything that you bought, and I still like to go to malls. I still like to go to different stores like Target and, just going to malls and looking around and looking at the variety of things. When you shop online, you lose that personal connection with salespeople. Do you miss that at all?
No. And here's another indication, even when I am shopping, obviously grocery shopping, I don't do that online. So that is something I'm doing every single week, multiple times a week. I am going to self-checkout. I'm still not even
Really?
going to the lines that have, a store clerk. It's more about convenience for me rather than experience.
I think during COVID, when a lot of stores were closed or they limited the number of people
I
that could
was in
go in,
heaven.
I think that a lot of people use the online grocery delivery options,
Yeah.
and they just never went back
Hmm.
to regular grocery shopping. I mean, it's a wonderful thing to speak to the cashiers, because normally if something's going on, we have a little discussion while she's ringing up my items. But grocery stores are not crowded like they used to be, and unless it's going to snow, that's the only time you see grocery stores really crowded now. But I don't particularly care for the self checkout because I'm not an employee for that grocery store, so I don't feel like I should be working. However, I think the store clerks now are under stress so much that, because, and then people don't want to be in there that long. They just want to get in and get out. They think every store is a fast food type store. So when they have a wrong price or they have to get someone to check an item for them, somebody gets upset about it. And fights are breaking out in stores. I know on Black Friday is probably the worst time in the year to go out shopping because a television is on sale for $15 and people are fighting, knocking over children. And to me, that has just destroyed the shopping experience for some people. But I still like going into the store and looking around, and because you don't get a chance to do that unless you specifically know what you're looking for online. So your age group, the millennial age group, you all want everything overnight, and you don't want to have to deal with people that that can help you and tell you, oh, this looks nice on you if you're trying clothes on. You lose all of that with this online experience. But I understand because customer service, even on the telephone, it's really bad right now. Now, how do you feel about when you have to deal with people on the telephone?
I knew I would never want that type of job. I've had to do that actually for my internship. I was help desk, which is basically you are on call for any technical problems with any of the technology that was at that company. So if something was wrong with your laptop, your computer, you would pick up the phone, call the help desk, and I would be on the other end. And yeah, you get the worst of people. I really don't understand why they choose to have that type of temperament with when you are literally trying to help them. There's a lot of entitlement with some customers, and it's just, as a customer service worker, it's just why do you have to deal with that, right? And there's definitely there's training needed, I feel like, for how to be a good customer and how to talk with to people with respect. I mean, it needs to start there.
Um, well, I tell you, it's really important that when you leave the house, that okay, this is going to be an issue because I don't have a receipt or I'm past the deadline of returning something. I've been in stores where I've seen customers literally cursing out people behind the desk. I've seen the manager called about 50 times, And I've seen people that just literally don't care what they're saying to the people behind the desk. And it's gotten to a point now where you people don't even want to go to the malls. I've gone to malls and there's about 10 people in there. And it's unfortunate because most of them all have bad experiences with shopping. I mean, you go to a store, you expect to walk in, you expect to walk out. That is not happening. And the younger the people are, it seems like the shorter the tempers that they have. Now, as far as you, who rarely goes to a store to shop, when you do go to a store, what is your experience?
I mean, I'm always gonna have respect for, regardless. Um, if I do find myself in a position where something is going down in the line and it's holding up the line, again, I'm just gonna stand there quietly and patiently. I'm not gonna join in on any of that. But that definitely has happened too. And I stand there and I just remind myself, this is why I don't come out to shop. This
Right.
is why I online shop, right? It's just a constant reminder. But also in those times, that's when I typically may talk to the person that's behind me or beside me or something that's also in line. Because, we're having the same type of response to it, right? Where we just wish it would hurry up, but obviously, life happens to other people. And yeah, I mean, it is a constant reminder always for me.
I, and online social media stuff, I think displays behavior more so. These videos, they actually show people in stores fighting and pushing and shoving each other and fighting over a particular toy for their child. I think that has exasperated to a point where people sort of expect to go in there and have a problem. And then you see people, hey, boycott this particular store because they didn't give me a refund. Now, when you read stuff online, does that influence you in any way, or make you say, oh, okay, just because this person had a bad experience with a customer service staff, I'm not gonna go.
No,
So,
that I've never really been influenced by the cancel culture. Um, I have canceled some things, but they were my decisions, and I'm not going to try to influence other people to not do it just because I decided not to anymore. But with those situations, it's always two sides. I mean, there are people that go in and think the customer is always right,
right,
and they think that they can say whatever they want, they can do whatever they want. They try to threaten the workers there into doing something that's probably well against the rules
right.
or that they just shouldn't be doing at all. And then you've got workers that have all the time in the world to go back and forth with you. And I don't think a lot of customers are used to that. I think that is probably a generational thing that younger workers will absolutely stand there and go back and forth with you, and they're not going to fold, into doing what the customer wants. So that causes a lot of friction as well.
I've seen a lot of issues in fast food places,
Hmm.
even in the drive-throughs, where customers and the staff have major disagreements. And it could be over not having chocolate chip cookies, or the ice cream machine is broken, which causes them to get out of their car, go inside, and tell the workers off. And I've stood there and I've listened and I've seen that these people are very serious about whatever it is that they want and can't understand why they can't have it. The entitlement is over the roof, over the top, because just because you want something right then and there does not give you a reason to curse out or belittle or even fight somebody that's working there. They don't own the store, they don't own the machinery. So to me, the reason that I teach what I teach, good manners, good behavior, and hopefully because I'm starting at a very young age, that when they grow up, they'll have patience. because it all boils down to self respect, discipline, and self confidence. Those are the three principles that I use to teach every single class that I teach. If you have enough respect for this organization or for the product that you want, then I think you will not go in with an attitude of entitlement. If you have the right discipline, then that means that you know that things can go wrong. Things will always go wrong. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance. If you have self confidence, then you know better. I think knowing that you have good self confidence means that you won't put yourself in a position where you will not be looked upon favorably. People don't think and use common sense when it comes to a reaction. You know people have cell phones. You know they're going to record you. You know you're going to be on social media. So your behavior sort of explains the type of person that you are. I teach manners to adults, children, whomever will come and attend my classes. And I try to instill in them, like I said, the three principles: self respect, discipline, and confidence. You have to be able to control your own self. This generation, this younger generation, will flip at the if you look at them wrong. If you say the word right or the wrong word to them, they are ready to go off on you, and then they're going to post you on social media bragging and being proud of their terrible bad behavior. So, what do we do now? It's time for a short break. I will be right back, and Diana and I will discuss some solutions to help people understand that we're living in a society now with very short tempers, and it goes both ways. Don't go anywhere. Lady Rachelle will be right back on WDRB Media, where you can listen 24/7 for double the information and inspiration. Welcome back to the Are You Ready show. I'm your host, Lady Rachelle, and I'm with Diana. We are discussing issues of customer service. Diana has some questions for me to help provide some solutions to this worldwide problem.
So, when dealing with rude customers, whether it's in a restaurant, a store, over the phone, what does a store clerk do about that? How can they deal with those types of customers?
First of all, they have to just listen, because if someone calls and they start out with an attitude, because most people are upset, they've been on hold for an hour, or they have had to be transferred 2 or 3 times. The clerk is aware of all of that, because they know that they have different areas of the staff, that answer certain questions. So what the staff should do first is to make sure that they have paper and pencil right there in front of them. Get their name, get their telephone number for callback first, in case they're disconnected. Then use a calm voice. Don't yell back. Don't, you know, go on their level, because, of course, they are a customer and they're upset. Very, very calmly keep your cool. Just keep your cool. Try to stay on a level that is not going to excite the customer anymore. So, and just start writing down things that they're saying, because you don't know what they're looking for. And the best thing to do is for you to stay calm. And then once they calm down, and a lot of times it's good to just listen to what their issue is. Just listen and let them get it out. And then you go, okay, ma'am, are you finished? Can I speak now? Because if you start trying to interrupt, they're going to just get madder and madder, and then it's going to turn into a shouting match, and then nothing is resolved. So, number one, make sure you're documenting whatever the issue is. Number two, stay calm. Number three, make sure you listen. Listen to what it is that they want first. And then number four, give them the steps to correct whatever issue it is. And hopefully, by that time, that the customer has calmed down, because they see that you are genuinely concerned about what their issue is and that you're willing to help.
Okay, so what about in person? If someone is approaching you and they're aggressive, and they look like they're ready to swing on you.
Hmm.
How do you handle that situation?
Again, calmness. Don't, because normally it's just talk because they're angry. And the best thing you can do is nothing. Let them get it out of their system because their goal is to come in and resolve some issue. Let them do that. Let them tell you whatever the issue is. Let them see you writing down, saying, okay, okay, okay. Because if they see you writing something down, then they'll think at least she's documenting what I need for her to hear. Get her information, have her calm down, offer her some water or something, because I've seen people come in crying with issues because they're so angry. They've been on the phone for a long time and now they're coming in to confront people. The clerk should stay as calm as possible. Don't go back with them with bad language or inappropriate actions or anything like that. If you have to, get a supervisor because the last thing you want to do is to have that person challenge to fight you or something and you say, okay, yeah, meet me outside. That is not the way to handle these kind of situations. And you have to understand, you're not their only customer that they've had that day. They've been there 8 hours a day on their feet. They're tired, and the last thing they need is someone coming and threatening them. So stay calm. Let them get the point across that they're trying to make because sometimes all they want you to do is listen to the problem first. Write everything down and then try to help.
Last question. As a respectable, respectful customer
Yes.
dealing that has to deal with a clerk that you notice is very rude, or they're not helping you, or they're purposely avoiding you and they're making your experience as a shopper, bad. How do you deal with that type of worker as a customer?
As a customer, the last thing you want to do is to go off on the clerk. Yes, she's being rude. She's probably tired just like you, but you still want to make sure as a customer, you just go, may I speak to your supervisor? That should be a time where yes, I want to see the manager. That's when that should happen because you don't deserve to be the recipient of how bad her day is because you didn't do it. And yes, there are clerks out there that are just as bad as customers. But regardless, whether you're the clerk, whether you're the customer, patience. You must have patience. You must be ready to stand in line. You must be ready to have someone to go check a price. And that comes with the territory of shopping in person now. So when you walk in the store and you see a clerk that's going off on a customer or arguing with a customer about a price, find another clerk. Just walk around the store and say, hey, can you help me? Because this lady seems to be having a bad day today and I don't want to add to it. The last thing you want is two opposing, strong willed, angry people trying to get a solution because that never works. That never works. And it's important to understand that when you do shop in person, it's people. People with attitudes, people with issues, people with problems. So go in expecting to have a good experience. When you pick up the phone to call, whether you're calling to return something or calling just to get questions or something with a telephone service, start out with a very calm voice. Because if you start out yelling, they're going to yell back. So the best thing is to do as a customer and as a clerk to pick up the phone or approach a person with a pleasant experience being your goal. So don't just assume that people are just automatically going to be nice. And unfortunately, that is the time. It's the end of the show for me right now. So remember to listen to me every week where I will discuss information that can help you in every aspect of your life. Also, visit me on RachelleLoganMedia.com for information on media training, manners, and social media. And also, please go to Amazon and get my book, Mannorisms, Manners Needed for Today's Changing World. You won't go wrong with this book. It has information that will absolutely uplift, inspire, and educate you. Thank you. Thank you for watching my channel. Be sure to check out my website, RachelleLoganMedia.com. You can find the link in the description. I also have an online school teaching public speaking, etiquette, and much more. I also wrote multiple books for adults and children that will teach you to become the best version of yourself. Thank you and see you next time.